Hello again. In the previous videos, I showed you how to use the Wikipedia library to get an image given a query and how to use the request library to download a file from the internet. Now we need to implement these two libraries in our program. So first of all, let's import Wikipedia and requests. They are grayed out for now because we haven't used them. We haven't used the Wikipedia name and the request name in the code yet. That's why they show as gray. So what we want to do, just to remind you, is that the user will write something here like beach, and they will search, they will push this button, and when they press that button, an image will show here. So currently the search image button is connected using this onPress property here. It's connected to the search image method. The button is connected to the search image method, but the search image method needs the information from the text input. So wherever the user writes in here, we need to grab that text from text input. Currently we are not doing anything like that. So let's first get the input from the text input widget. So I'm going to close that window. How do we do that? How to get the text from the text input widget? Well, basically we use the same syntax as here. So we refer to self, which is the first screen current instance. So the object instance also of first screen dot manager. Yeah, thanks PyCharm for the suggestion. Dot current screen dot IDs dot what can we write here? In the case of the image, we wrote the ID of the image. In the case of text input, we don't have any ID, but we can add an ID. Make sure to indent ID. Let's write something meaningful, such as user query, right? And then go here and write user query. Note that this goes without quote, user query, just like that. So that will give us the text input widget. What do we want out of the text input widget is the text property of the text input widget. And we want to store it in some sort of variable. Let's say user query. Or just query, not to confuse you with that. That's the ID of text input. This is a variable that has meaning inside this function. If you want to check the result, if we really are able to get the query, you can do print query here and execute the program, write something there. 1, 2, 3, press the button, and you see that 1, 2, 3 is printed out in here by this function. That means query has successfully gotten the query of the user via the text input. Now we can carry on and see what we can do with this query string. Well, what we can do with it is, let's first write some comments in here. Get user query from text input. All right. Then next, what we want to do is, let me save space. Let's write the comment in here. Get Wikipedia page and list of image URLs. So I'm just writing some comments so that if we go back later and read this code, we know what the code is doing. So we said that we need a page object, which can be created with wikipedia.page, and here goes the query. Image links will be equal to page.images. Just like that, that will give us a list of image links. And that's about it. So this block of code, gets the Wikipedia page and the list of images. Then we need to extract the first URL of this list, so to give us the first image. So we could write another variable, or what we can do is we can also do this directly. So let's say image link equal to page.images, the item with index 0. So that will give us the first URL, image link, directly without having to create an intermediate variable. So it's up to you. There's no really a strict way. Sometimes it's good to have intermediate variables. Sometimes it's better to just have the code shorter. In this case, I'll go for this. But make sure to update the comment, get Wikipedia page, and the first image link. Okay, that makes sense. Then download the image. And we did that using requests.get. What do we need here is the URL to the file that we want to download. And the URL is in the image link variable. So put that variable in here and then do with open. Let's call this image.jpg, open in write mode as file, and file.write request rec, so the variable.content to get the bytes. Looks good, but what I would suggest instead would be to slightly change the path and do files/image.jpg, so that the images are saved under files, under the files directory, which I already have here. So if you don't have a files directory, just go right click here, new directory, and name it files, press enter, and a files directory will be created in here. And that file will be created inside files directory. Okay, and then what's left to do is set the image in the image widget. And we already have that code, so self.manager.currentscreen.ids.image.source equal to that path. Now, a good practice would be to not write a string 2 times. So what you could do instead would be to, before writing this code, so before declaring the string there, you create a variable, file path or image path equal to that string. So cut that, paste it there, and here instead of the string you just write image path, and you do the same thing in here. That way you make sure that you're using the same string here and there. So if you change later the string value to something else, maybe you want to say picture like that, then you don't have to change the path here and there. You just have to change it in here. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, let's try this now. Make sure to save the Kivy file. The Python file doesn't have to be saved. Execute. Let's search for hammock this time with 2 M's. Right, that's the correct way to pronounce it. Search image. Oh yeah, not bad. So it's working. And that's the code to make it work. Now, I know that this program might have many bugs. I haven't tested it with different user queries and other scenarios, but that's not the purpose of this small app. You can try to improve it on your own. That would be a good exercise. The purpose was to introduce you to the Kivy library, and now we have to move on with the next app, which is our webcam app with Kivy again, but I wanted to have another very short lecture about some good programming practices, because our code here, even though it works, we have to follow best programming practices. So in the next video, I'm going to make a very small change in this program, which is important for you to understand how to write good code. So please follow the next video, and then we move on with the next app. See you in the next video.